Greetings, fellow travelpreneurs, and welcome to another episode of the Travelpreneur Club, where I interview inspiring travelpreneurs from around the world and share with you their story of starting, launching, and growing their own location-independent business. My name is Drew Crawford. Now let's get started. Today I'm excited to have Jason Boone with us. Jason is an ex-corporate employee turned full-time travelpreneur. In April 2016, Jason quit his job and began traveling the world in search of adventure, which he highlights on his travel blog at boonetravels.com and also on his YouTube vlog series. Jason, welcome to the Travelpreneur Club.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and fill in any details I may have missed.
Okay, as you said, I used to work for, my background's in television, and I worked for, straight out of college, I've been working for a small PBS affiliate TV station in Florida in the United States, and worked there for a little over 8 years, and it just kind of grew stagnant, and I was ready. I was freelancing on the side, and I started to notice that my freelance was taking over, and I decided to go full freelance and quit my job in April, and then decided to hit the road and really try to become a digital nomad. And I'm still in the beginning months of the journey, so it's I'm still in that transition phase, but I've been surprised at how well it's going, and it's crazy. It's more exciting than I ever could have imagined. So
absolutely, yeah. Because I think your story is very interesting because there are a lot of people that are kind of at that point where they're deciding they want to take off and travel and to work for themselves, and I believe your story will offer them a lot of value.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jason, I'm sure you kind of have an idea what a travelpreneur is. I'm going to give you our definition. So a travelpreneur is a traveling entrepreneur that believes in building location-independent businesses that allow them complete control and freedom over their lifestyle. So Jason, what do you do that makes you part of the Travelpreneur Club?
Well, my mission was, I've seen in the working world, it seems like in a lot of industries, a lot of people are starting to freelance, and a lot of people are going to be freelancing. I saw some statistic that said some high number of people are going to be freelancing within the next few decades, which is already the case for me. So I knew that I wanted to have control. It was mainly about control for me. I wanted to control my finances, and I wanted to control my time, and I wanted to control my location. And I knew that the only way to do that was to jump in and do this travelpreneur lifestyle, digital nomad lifestyle. So that's my goal, and I decided. I've been wanting to do it for years now, but there's always been something holding me back, whether it was a relationship, whether it was finances, and then finally, it's still a little surreal because I'm three months in now, or 4 months, and yeah, so it's your definition is pretty much hits the nail on the head. It's about control of time, location, and it's about freedom. Absolutely. And I also like the idea of being able to, if I want to make more money, I can work harder. Mm-hmm. And if I want to take some time off, I can take some time off. I'm not in that structure of I have to be here from 9 to 5, whether there's work to be done or not. Absolutely.
So tell us a little more about where you currently are in the world, and why did you choose that particular location to run your business from?
Okay. I'm currently in Iceland, which is like, everyone should come to Iceland. So I quit, like you said, I quit my job in end of March, and I left in April of 2016, the first week of April. I did 2 months of road tripping around the U.S., and then I flew to Iceland, and I've been here for about 3 weeks, and I have a few weeks left, and then I'm going to mainland Europe. But I'm a nature buff. On my U.S. road trip, I did all national parks and outdoorsy stuff. And then I came to Iceland because it's a nature outdoors mecca, and my expectations were high when I came here, and it's kind of blown me away. But I'm not really running my business from here. It's kind of I think I'm getting a little bit of travel out of my system. I've kind of gone crazy, and I'm traveling quickly right now. Sure. And I know in the next couple months I'm going to slow down and really focus more on the work, because I've realized in the first few months that trying to work while you're in motion is a bit of a challenge, and it's an interesting transition that I'm getting acclimated to.
Absolutely. And I think as well too, when you kind of set your roots down, you get to know the country a little more, you get to make some local friends. So what is it about Iceland that you love so far? What's your favorite thing?
Well, one of the things that I've realized I like this method of travel is I came here and I didn't read a lot about it. So that's pretty exciting because when I arrived here, all I knew is that I wanted to try hitchhiking and I wanted to see the island. That's all I really knew, and I didn't read anything about any of the locations. So getting here, I was shocked at how cheap some of the campsites were. I'm camping and hitchhiking around the country. The camping is their infrastructure is really, it's really nice here. They have Wi-Fi at a lot of the campsites. They have showers. Compared to camping in the United States, it's actually a lot better, which surprised me. And the hitchhiking scene here is really phenomenal, and the people of Iceland are just amazing and nice. And I'm a little bit worried because tourism is exploding here so quickly. Someone told me it's growing by 60% every year, exponentially. So I think it's good that I'm seeing it right now, and I'm worried in a couple of years it's going to be just people everywhere.
That's one of the downsides of beautiful places like that is once the word gets out, it almost kind of ruins itself.
Yeah, yeah. And, with my vlog, I'm trying to show people beautiful areas that they should, I'm trying to inspire people to travel, but at the same time, be responsible about it and be a responsible traveler.
Absolutely.
Which I think the people of Iceland are doing a really good job with that. They know that they have to protect the goose that laid the golden egg because, they're very strict about don't go off-roading, don't do, certain things that can hurt nature. And so I'm interested to see where this country is going to be in 10 years.
That's great. So what made you take the leap into working for yourself and, in pursuing a nomadic lifestyle?
Okay. I don't want it to sound like I didn't like my job because I really liked my job. I really loved working in television. I loved all the people that I worked with. And it was a bit of a dream job. I had a 4-day work week, 36-hour work week. I had really good benefits. I got hired on with a lot of other people, and all of those people are still there. No one ever quit that. I worked for a college, a TV station on college campus, and basically worked for the state of Florida. So the benefits were really good. The health insurance, I paid like nothing for my health insurance, which is crazy in the States. And I think it was just it grew stagnant, and I hadn't had a promotion. I wasn't being challenged, and I really liked work. I found myself at a point where I would be at work with nothing to do, and I would be working on side projects, like secretly. I would be, working on, I want to work on this and work on that, and then finally I got to a point where I was like, I want to work on all this stuff full time. And if I go and I decide to work on this stuff full time, I can do it remotely. And one of the other big things I wanted to do was I always wanted to go on a open-ended trip, because in the United States they give you 2 weeks or 3 weeks, which is crazy. It's not a whole lot of time. You get to pick like one location, and when you go on a trip, it feels very rushed. So I always wanted to have that experience, almost of like being. It sounds irresponsible, but almost being like a child again when you like go out and you go out and play as a 12-year-old, and it's like time is, you don't even think about the time. I wanted that feeling again to a certain point, and I always wanted to go on an open-ended trip and just an adventure. So that was another big draw to the lifestyle change, and things just kind of aligned where I went through a breakup, and I had been in relationships throughout all my 20s, and now I'm 33 years old now. And I think it was an age thing too. I'm starting to get a little bit older, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it soon.
Absolutely,
so it seems like it would get more difficult the older I became. So.
Absolutely. So, wait, what did your friends and family have to say, about your decision to leave your job and become a full-time travelpreneur?
I think everyone was pretty shocked. My mom was constantly like, "Are you alive?" That kind of typical thing. But
sure.
And people at work thought I was crazy because it's such a good job, and people were fighting for the job that I had. I got lucky. I got that job right out of college, and it's kind of a mixture. People are like, "Oh, I'm so jealous. I wish I could do that," and then you get the people that are like, "I don't understand what you're doing," and I think the funniest thing is I tell people what I'm doing, and literally, I think everyone thinks I'm coming back in a year. They're like, "Oh, we'll see you when you get back," and it's like, no, I don't have plans on coming back. Like I'm I'm not coming back. So I still have people today telling me that, like emailing me, like, oh, when you're gonna come back and settle down here, we'll do this and do that, and you know, maybe we can do that. And it's like, you know, I'll come visit, but I'm not coming back to that job or that area.
Mm-hmm. So when did this change in mentality, you know, towards entrepreneurship and travel kind of occur in your life?
When I started freelancing a lot, I started to get jobs, and they weren't location-independent freelance jobs. They were just jobs, and I realized as a freelancer, I think in 2015, I had so many freelance jobs. I was working constantly. I would go to my full-time job, and then instantly when I would get home, I would be editing video, like until I fell asleep, and just working on other projects. And I made more money in my freelance endeavors by a significant amount than my full-time job in 2015. And I was able to pay off, I didn't have a lot of debt, but I paid off all my debt, and I had a big chunk of savings, and I was newly single, and everything kind of aligned. And I said, you know, this is the opportunity to take the leap. So I made the decision kind of the year before, like, okay, in a year, I'm gonna make this happen. So you know, and it's still, like I said, a lot of those freelance jobs weren't location independent jobs. So I had 2 or 3 like big fish clients that I just had to kind of let go. I approached them and said, hey, I'm doing this trip. Can I work remotely? And 2 of them were like, sorry. And they found someone instantly and replaced me. But
sure.
That's part of the deal.
And when you began freelancing, how did you initially find your clients to work with?
It's a variety of ways. I've been freelancing. I fell in love with television and videography and filmmaking when I was about 20 years old. And even earlier than that, when I was 17, my mom bought me a video camera for Christmas, and I started tinkering around with it. And then I think when I was in college, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? And I decided, you know, this is what I love to do. I shoot skateboarding videos, and I make little films, and I volunteered at the TV station, and really hit it off with their production guy, and he said, hey, we'll give you a job. And I kind of fell into it, and then the freelancing, I just started. People started approaching me like, "Hey, can you make a video about this for me? Can you make a video with that?" And every freelancing job I did, I put the money into new gear. I kept dumping the money back into the business, which was just me like, "Oh, I want a really good tripod," or "I want a really good mic, like I want one of those wireless microphones." Mm-hmm. And so I ended up having a huge amount of gear. And then I started to look for clients, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then finally in 2015, I got a couple big jobs that you know were like serious corporate, you know, big companies. And I still have one of them now that wants me to. They say, "Oh, we'll fly you back, and then you can shoot this, and then we'll fly you back to wherever you want." So it's kind of cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I think the biggest thing I took away from that is, you know, invest in yourself. You know, invest if you want to do video, if you want to be a blogger, you know, whatever your passions are, make sure you're investing in yourself and your education, your equipment, because that's the only way I believe that you can make this, you know, this dream a reality.
Right, exactly. And I think it's kind of, I don't know how it is for other people, but I feel like it's easy for me because I feel lucky that I know I have a certain amount of drive and ambition, and passion is the big thing, passion for what I'm doing. So it's really very easy. I remember I dated this girl for a while, and it would always be a fight. She would be trying to get me off the computer because I was constantly be like making films or editing and working, like trying to get work with some companies that I wanted to, and she would be fighting for my free time. So I know that, you know, I want to work all the time, so it's not an issue. It makes it kind of easy.
Absolutely. So, you know, you worked with your job for 8 years. You know, you had a comfortable job. You know, you said you had good benefits, good pay. You know, you lived a good life. You were happy. You know, but then, you know, this change in mentality occurred where you decided, you know, that you wanted to go out and travel and to pursue your passion. But many people aren't able to do that. What do you believe is the greatest factor holding people back from, you know, taking control of their lives and making the necessary change to be happy?
There's a lot of factors. And the main ones, I think, are family, family obligations, and family. When you enter into a relationship with another person, it makes it very hard. And if you have kids, you know, it's hard. People do it. People can still have the travel life. You know, I've listened to other podcasts where they talk about, you know, interview families that travel. But I think family, finances, there's a lot of things that can hold you back. But I think a big thing is you have to make it a priority, and you have to really want it. And it's not you know, I can't speak about it like I'm an expert because I'm only a few months into it, so I can only speak to what I've experienced. But it's not all. Well, kind of a funny example. When I finally left, I was like touting it, you know, on my website. I was like, I'm doing this, and this is what I'm doing, and it's so cool. And I remember I left, and so the big things for digital nomad, like you need Wi-Fi to work, and you know, you need a place to sleep. So when I was road tripping around the States, I was finding myself like, oh, okay, I can sleep at Walmart for free in my car, and I can go to McDonald's and get free Wi-Fi. So this was this glamorous digital nomad life of being like a homeless man, sleeping in Walmarts and hanging out in like McDonald's across the country. And like I remember the first couple weeks, I was like, what am I doing? Like, is this really? But at the same time, you know, it's this transition of you know, it's just kind of like a road trip lifestyle at the moment. But yeah, it was kind of funny. But you know, back to your question of what's holding people back, I really think it's a lot of things. Whether it's people with aging parents, they don't want to leave their parents. Mm-hmm. That's a big factor, and not having the money, student loans. There's all kinds of things. If you're in you know, you have a loved one that can't travel, that has a good job. Absolutely. You know, like I said, everything kind of aligned for me. And actually, it kind of aligned, but there was still I still have big obstacles that I have to overcome. I actually fell back into a relationship within that year, and I fell in love with a girl, and that was extremely difficult to break out of that. Mm-hmm. And I don't. In fact, we planned to stay together, but that kind of fell apart, and that was extremely difficult. And I also have medicine that I have to take, so that's another obstacle that I'm going to have to overcome, is finding medicine overseas, which I've heard you can do in Europe without prescriptions. So that's going to be part of my next adventure in the coming months. Like, stay tuned to my vlog to see if I get my medicine.
Absolutely. So right now, most of your work is coming from freelancing. You said you're kind of just beginning. So what is like your largest income generating activity that you do that funds your life abroad?
Okay. Well, I had these clients, which pretty much all of them fell away right away. I had a savings, so I knew I had a savings so that I could look for new clients, and I could look for these location independent jobs, and I could live off of the savings for a certain number of years if I would get by on a low budget. So literally, my plan when I left was, okay, I'm going to teach. I'm going to upload video courses to websites like Skillshare and Udemy. I don't know if you've heard of these. Mm-hmm. And basically teaching filmmaking and video production. And I was going to upload courses and hopefully make money off that, and then build another website where I'm basically like a teacher doing tutorials. That was my plan. And then I had made a course that I was trying to market, so I contacted this blog that I read, and I thought, what the heck? I'm just going to ask if I can be a contributing blogger to this website. It was one of my favorite blogs, filmmaking blogs. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, I created this course and I'm trying to get some exposure to it, and I would love to have you write an article about it, or I would like to contribute an article about it. So I pitched them a couple ideas, and then they ended up hiring me on as a contributing blogger. And it's kind of like a dream. It's a bit of a dream job where they gave me like WordPress credentials, and they said, hey, we are so hungry for content, for blog content, like written articles. If you want to submit as much as you want, we'll pay you for it. So all you got to do is write about filmmaking. So all I had to do was pitch them like 3 ideas to get my foot in the door. They said, pitch us 3 ideas. We'll pick one, you write it, and then if it's good, you're in. And I did that. I got in, and so now I've been trying to figure out how many articles I need to write a month to kind of, and it's not a whole lot of money, but it's enough to pay the food bills and the gas bills at the moment. Sure.
And I think the biggest thing is you're getting experience as well. You're building up your portfolio. You're gaining that experience, which you can use in the future to leverage for bigger jobs.
Right. So that's my main client right now, and I've been talking with them. I asked them. They said they want me to do video tutorials now, which they pay like 3 to 4 times as much for video tutorials. So now, ideally, I would be producing video tutorials with a couple of written articles, and that would be the main cash cow. And then at the same time, I really want to, because a big thing about this whole digital nomad lifestyle is I want to have more stability. Like, I want to have multiple clients, so that if something happens and they say, hey, we don't need content anymore, it's not my whole paycheck. You know what I mean? But at the moment, yeah, at the moment, that's the main thing. I still make like pocket change from my Udemy and Skillshare courses, which I'd like to put more time into producing more courses. But I've been traveling around like a madman. Like I said, I'm going to slow down in the coming months and really focus on the. I think it's just that it's so new that I'm out of the job and traveling. I'm going crazy. Sure.
So what would you say the greatest factor is that has attributed to your personal success thus far?
It's the just taking action. I think taking action is going out and actually doing it. Like I said, it's still kind of surreal. I remember it didn't actually hit me that I had quit my job and left until like a month into my road trip. And I remember I was in Colorado or something and walking out I went to Great Sand Dunes National Park. I remember I saw that and it was so amazing. And I remember I thought, like, holy crap, I actually did this and I'm here now and I'm by myself, solo traveling, and I'm here, and it kind of hit me, and it still is, like I said, a little unreal. And it's a little unreal that I'm generating some kind of income at all is amazing. So
yeah. That's great. You're pursuing your dreams, and and it seems like you'll do anything to make it happen, which I think is the most important thing, is like just committing to it fully. And no turning back, no plan B. Like, this is your plan A. It's go 100% for it. Right. I'm interested to see in a couple of years if I look back and be like, I remember when I was sleeping in Walmarts and like laying around McDonald's by myself writing articles about, like, thinking up article ideas. It's fun. So I'm sure traveling, especially the digital nomad travelpreneur life, is not all it's not all glamorous, like you said. Sometimes when you're sleeping in Walmart parking lots and using Wi-Fi McDonald's, that's what you have to do. So, I'm sure you've had difficult times along your journey. So take us to one of those moments, and share with us how you overcame that adversity to arrive to the point where you are today.
Okay. You kind of have to. There's no one big moment. It's just been a lot. Loneliness was a big factor. Traveling around America,
sure.
It was lonely because I did a road trip. I've been meeting a ton of people here in Iceland because I don't have a car and I'm hitchhiking, so there's too many people. But in America, when I left, it was a bit of a shock. It was a culture shock, like digital nomad culture shock, because I was, like I said, and my phone ended up dying. And luckily I was out of contract, but my phone died, and then I didn't have a phone, so I was like traveling around really like off the grid. No GPS, no text from friends, no calls. And it was definitely tough, but I knew it was what I wanted. And like I said, the whole breakup thing, I had broken up with this girl, and we had broken up with each other, and that was really tough. But that's one of those things. And I know that's a contributing factor to what a lot of other people that I've realized that go and take trips around the world, they go through bad breakups, and that kind of spurs them on to take trips. But
absolutely. And in that difficult moment, what did you learn about yourself, and how has that shaped your travels thus far?
I knew that. Well, what happened with the girl was I fell in love with this girl. Sorry, I like to get super personal about my details. It's bad, but I fell in love with this girl, and I got really upset because I was like, I'm going away forever. I'm not coming back. So we agreed, and she had a really good job, and the plan was I was going to come back in a year and settle down. So I basically said, I'm okay with my life plans. I'm going to come back in a year and get an apartment with you, and I'll be back here. And I knew in my heart it really wasn't what I wanted, and I think that's kind of why everything kind of dissolved, because I knew in the back of my mind, that in my heart, that was exactly the whole reason was I wanted to go on a solo, open-ended trip with no end in sight. So, and that's where I am now, and it's beyond amazing.
Sure, and I'm sure when you get to that year point, you look back and you'll think back on the decision, and I think obviously you made the right decision.
Yeah. And I think that's a whole interesting aspect, is trying to be in relation, because I really would like to be in a relationship, and I guess I'm just hoping like maybe there'll be another digital nomad girl out there that
Absolutely.
I cross paths with. Maybe one day.
So, what is your current number one goal for your location independent business, and how do you plan to accomplish it?
I have like dollar amounts that I wanna keep acquiring clients. Actually, one of the big things is I wanna there's some clients that I'd like to write for. I'd like to write for Huffington Post. I've been trying to like kick down their door for a bit, and there's a couple of other people that I'd like to write for, and I'd like to build. One of the main things is build an audience for my vlog, my YouTube channel. That's probably one of the top ones. And then just the monetary goals of like, okay, if I can make $1,500 this month, and then $2,000 the next month, and then make it stable, and then really hit a flow of just have a little more stability, and really know that, okay, I can go here for 3 months and live here for 3 months. And I can already kind of see that. You would probably know this better than I do, but I'm already kind of seeing like, okay, I think in the next couple of years I'll find a place around the world that's cheap, and I'll go spend a few months there, work really hard, and then maybe I can go to another expensive area, spend a couple of months there, and then I'll kind of hit this, learn my way around the world, I guess.
Sure. Well, I think for me, like I've kind of found my home base here in Medellin. So I mean, obviously at tourist visa I can only stay here 6 months out of the year. But what many people have done here is, they obtain investment visas where they're required to spend a certain amount of money, like $25,000 in like 2 years or whatever. But there's different ways of getting around it, I've heard so far. But it's like kind of finding that home base. Like a lot of people choose Chiang Mai, Thailand as a location. There's certain parts of Europe that people find very cheap and kind of places that they always go back to, which I think kind of like what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, and that's exactly the point. Is I'm planning on going to Chiang Mai in a little while, and I'm traveling so fast right now, I think I do want to get an apartment there, and I want to jump around, and I really want to explore the digital nomad communities around the world, and I want to meet more people, and make some other friends. I want to get in kind of engulfed in the lifestyle and meet the people and stuff. Because when I left, I was thinking about it when I left. And I decided to take this journey of this lifestyle change. I thought, man, I don't know anybody that's done this personally. I mean, I've listened to all these podcasts and I've read all these blogs, but I don't know anyone, or even a friend of a friend that's done it, which is, So I thought, wow, this is made it a little scary, but at the same time, thrilling.
Absolutely. So the Travelpreneur Club is made up of both established and aspiring travelpreneurs. So what is one of your favorite books that you believe would really resonate with the audience?
I looked through your last list of interviews, and I was surprised nobody said this. Maybe one of the recent guests has, but Vagabonding by Rolf Potts is
but I think it's first.
Like that's one of my. I think that was one of the books that initially I read way early on, years ago. I think that book's pretty old now. It's almost 10 years old, but somehow I got that book came across. And that may have been one of the reasons I was like, wow, the whole idea of long-term travel was really like romantic and attractive to me. So I definitely read that book like 1,000 times, and it was my Bible I'd carry it around. But I know it's very popular in the travel community.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely have to link that up in the show notes here. I actually have not heard of that one, but I will
oh really?
Check it out.
Man. I guess I just assumed that it was like a super popular book, but yeah, it's a great one.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Jason, for joining me today. So my fellow travelpreneurs, I highly suggest heading over to boonetravels.com. I'm going to link it up here in the show notes. Also to check out his YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Jason Boone. He has, he does a video, a vlog highlighting his travels. Yeah, so I think you're at about 22 episodes now, highlighting your U.S. journey. But now you're in Iceland, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you put out there from your trip over there.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, man. I said this is my first podcast appearance, so it's really exciting.
Well, I'm glad to have the honor. So before we let you go, please share with us one parting piece of wisdom, and what's the best way we can connect with you, and then we'll say goodbye.
You just gotta make whatever your goal is, you have to make it a priority, and you're going to have to make, I think you have to be willing to make some sacrifices if it's really what you want. Even if it's something as simple as like me, when I went through and got rid of a bunch of stuff, I get really sentimentally attached to stuff, so that was difficult. But once I started to get rid of stuff, it was like a waterfall of like throwing everything away.
And you feel much more liberated and free after that.
Yeah, it's crazy liberating. So I think just make your, even if your goal isn't to become location independent, whatever your goals are, you just have to make it a priority, and you have to take action. Whether it's small steps, just take some kind of action towards your goals, a little at a time, a lot at a time, whatever you can do.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. So what's the best way to connect with you?
Like personally, like email,
email. I know your Twitter handle. What if someone wants to get hold of you and ask you a question, or ask?
I think that if you want to email me, it's just jasonboone@gmail.com, or head over to the website and shoot me an email through the website, or like I said, I'm really trying to build up a community in my YouTube page. So if you head over to my YouTube page and comment on any videos or message me through there, I'll definitely talk to you. And I have an Instagram as well where I post, some pictures and some videos. It's just Boone Travels.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Jason. Enjoy Iceland, and we'll keep in touch here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Drew.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe below and share this video with a friend that you think it would help. If you'd like this interview in audio format, you can click above right there to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. And don't forget to head on over to thetravelpreneurclub.com for more inspirational content that'll help you begin your journey as a travelpreneur. Until next time, take care, my friends.